right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Big weather changes coming this week, and most of them will make you thankful if you're traveling for Thanksgiving.
Plus, tonight, a St. Louis County high school going virtual after having to evacuate 2 days in a row due to threats. But first tonight, the latest on the mass shooting at a Colorado LGBTQ nightclub.
It's impossible nowadays to feel safe anywhere.
The St. Louis community mourning and marking a day meant to remember those who have lost their lives to anti-transgender violence. Just hours ago, a candlelight vigil was held outside that Colorado nightclub as investigators try to figure out why a gunman opened fire, killing at least 5 and injuring dozens more. Good evening, I'm Mike Bush.
And I'm Ann Allred. Authorities say the club's patrons were heroes, subduing the lone gunman until police arrived. Witnesses described the horrific scene inside.
Bodies on the ground, blood, shattered glass, people dead. It was sad. It was scary.
Tonight, the suspect is in custody, facing multiple charges. The motive remains a mystery.
The suspect has been identified as Anderson Lee Aldrich, a 22-year-old male. At least 2 firearms were found at the scene.
At this point, police won't speculate on whether this can be labeled a hate crime. The shooting happened just hours before many paused for the Transgender Day of Remembrance.
It's a day to honor transgender people who lost their lives to violence. New tonight, our Laura Barcheski shows us how dozens of people gathered here in St. Louis to light candles in their memory.
On a chilly Sunday afternoon, dozens of people walked to honor the lives of transgender people taken from their communities too soon, and the people killed at Club Q, an LGBTQ+ club in Colorado Springs on Saturday.
You know, people have to remember that trans people are humans too, and we just want to get those basic human rights and needs that everyone else has without being killed or murdered or discriminated against.
Cara Fitzgerald says she was a victim of anti-trans violence and nearly lost her life.
My ex tried to kill me 10 months ago. Was in a shelter for the past 8, so now I'm in my own apartment. Still going through court about it, but...
On this Transgender Day of Remembrance, each candle lit honors 32 transgender men and women who lost their lives this year to violence.
Tiffany Banks, we will never forget.
Michaela Joy Kramer says this is also a time to recognize the challenges the transgender community faces every day.
Every day there are people who are fighting against our existence and our legitimacy and rights, and there needs to be more done.
Mayor Tashara Jones says she wants to do more for the St. Louis trans community.
We're working every day to make St. Louis a place where everyone can feel safe, succeed, and thrive, no matter what identity you hold.
Brazil Johnson. We will never forget.
You are seen, you are heard, and you are loved.
Reporting in St. Louis, Laura Barcheski, 5 on your side.
Jones signed a proclamation at the vigil to officially mark November 20th as St. Louis Transgender Day of Remembrance for years to come.
A live look at St. Louis Lambert International Airport. It's going to be pretty busy in the skies and, of course, on the roads with people starting that Thanksgiving travel this week.
So what can we all expect heading into this short holiday week? Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell joined us now with his Weather First forecast.
Well, this is going to be a week of change, and I think most of us are going to be a bit happy about it, especially after what we've been dealing with over the last 7 to 10 days. Colder air moved in a week ago last Friday, and it's been with us ever since. This morning, the coldest morning many of us have seen, 10 to 15 degrees in the coldest spots early this morning. Now, not a whole lot's going on across the rest of the country here. As you look across the bi-state region, hardly any cloud cover. We got a little rain down in Texas. Even the lake effect snow's easing up. And that's going to translate into a pretty quiet travel week, at least to start. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, generally pretty quiet. Temperatures are trending warmer for us. We have good travel weather, especially if you're within a day's drive of St. Louis. On Wednesday, really low chances for rain. And there is a low chance we'll have a little bit of rain around St. Louis on Thanksgiving, but it's just that, a low chance. We'll talk more about your travel forecast forecast across the middle part of the country coming up in 12 minutes, Mike.
All right, Scott, thanks. Tomorrow, Marquette High School students will return to class virtually ahead of the Thanksgiving break. Today's announcement comes after threats to the school forced students to evacuate 2 days in a row last week. All other schools in the Rockwood School District will follow their regular schedules this week.
Tonight, we have new information in a deadly shooting in O'Fallon, Missouri, where a police officer shot and killed a man. The man has been identified as 32-year-old Taylor Lee Showmaker of St. Charles. According to police, Showmaker shot at the officers as he walked out of a home yesterday afternoon on Longfellow Circle after a nearly 2-hour standoff. Police were called to the home for a mental health crisis. No one else was hurt by gunfire. Investigators say there is police body cam footage of the shooting, but they are not releasing it at this time. Tonight, a 3-year-old boy is in critical condition after police say he found a gun and shot himself.
Now, with the holidays upon us and people opening up their homes, gun safety advocates are urging the community to take action. New tonight, our Mercedes McKay shows us the simple device they say can prevent these tragedies.
There are no words. There just are no words for what these tragedies are.
Heartbreaking is the only way Kathy Gilbert can describe her emotions. Hearing about another toddler critically injured from an unintentional shooting in St. Louis.
I know there are parents somewhere, grandparents, their hearts are breaking and they're dealing with this tragedy, but compounded by the fact it didn't need to happen.
Police were called to a shooting on the 3000 block of California Avenue in the Benton Park West neighborhood on Saturday afternoon. That's when they found a 3-year-old boy suffering from a self-inflicted gunshot wound to his eye.
The issues surrounding gun violence are complex and multi-layered. We can't tackle them all as one volunteer organization, but this issue we can address.
Gilbert is a volunteer with Women's Voices Raised for Social Justice, specifically focusing on their gun lock safety program known as Lock It for Love.
We advocate that all firearms should be locked when they're not in use, with the ammunition stored separately.
According to Gilbert, 350 children are involved in an unintentional shooting every year in America. That's why their organization offers free gun locks at St. Louis public libraries like this one, so tragedies like this don't happen again.
Cable gun lock like this is a very simple device that can prevent that kind of tragedy.
Tragedies that Gilbert believes the city has seen more of this year.
We encourage people to realize that you cannot prevent a curious child from finding a firearm. It's not enough to hide it up on the top shelf of your closet. That's not being safe.
As we head into the holiday season, she's encouraging everyone to talk about gun safety.
Normalize the conversation and make sure our firearms are secured.
In St. Louis, Mercedes McKay, 5 on Your Side.
According to 5 on Your Side data, 123 children under the age of 17 have been victims of gun violence in St. Louis City so far this year. 15 have died. We have a full list of the places you can get a free gun lock on our website, KSDK.com, under the As Seen on TV section.
Tomorrow marks 4 weeks since the deadly mass shooting inside Central VPA High School. Today, Central dance students were joined by others throughout the dance community for this special class. It was not only to raise money, it was a way to heal. The class was organized by a mental health therapist who's also a choreographer.
I just knew that we had to do something, and dance is always the place that I run to heal.
Of course, you see all this stuff happening, but you never think it can happen in your own community. It's just a really scary thing, and I think that was a very sobering experience to see it happen so close to me.
If no one told you.
They raised nearly $1,000, all of which will go to Central VPA. The St. Louis Blues will honor the Central VPA community with a special ceremonial puck drop before tomorrow night's game. 2 vocal music students will perform the national anthem. 7 first responders and school officials will be honored. Teachers and staff have also been invited to watch the game.
A holiday parade tragedy.
Veering towards us, people screaming.
The warning from the driver of a parade float. The charges he faces tonight. A little leaguer with a big heart.
This is the best thing that I've ever seen in Little League Baseball.
Tonight, the story behind this show of sportsmanship you haven't heard.
This past week, feeling more like January than November in St. Louis, but the weather pattern is shifting, and it brings us big changes.
You may remember this Little League moment that went viral last summer when young Isaiah Jarvis hugged the distraught pitcher who had just hit him in the head. Last night, Isaiah was honored at the annual Musial Awards at Stiefel Theater downtown. For our Making a Difference report, we traveled just south of Joplin, Missouri to get the story behind this story of kindness. It's time for fall ball in Springdale, Arkansas.
How are you, man? Yeah, thanks for playing with us.
And baseball's second season brings together some first-time teammates. Isaiah Jarvis and Caden Shelton have never played on the same team.
Sox out 3, 1, 2, 3, Sox.
In fact, they're not even from the same state.
Caden, be ready. He hits it hard.
But recently, an unexpected moment created an unexpected friendship. Isaiah was destined to play baseball. His dad is a college baseball coach.
His desire, just like any boy's desire to capture their dad's attention and heart, he really clung to baseball.
But he didn't really get serious until age 10, after sitting on the bench most of one season.
Every day, and I think that chip on the shoulder of, hey, I wasn't good enough to play last year, and I want to be good.
Got him. I think it sparked my confidence. Did you see that pick right there? That pick was good.
Caden, whose nickname is Bubs, says he started playing when he was just 3.
My grandmother, his Gigi, is a baseball fanatic. She just loved it. She always told Caden, "You're going to be the next Nolan Ryan."
The boys were on different paths leading to the same destination, each other.
Right back through the box.
They'd meet in the Little League Southwest Region Championship game. Isaiah playing for Oklahoma.
Obviously, they had gelled, and by that point, they felt like, and I think us as fans felt like they had a chance.
And Caden for Texas East, composed of youngsters from the Houston area.
Chased one upstairs.
And they were on a roll.
We went to state, and we beat every team. We didn't lose a single game.
Bob Sheldon jumps on a fastball.
The winner of the Southwest Region earns a trip to Williamsport and the Little League World Series. Isaiah and Caden faced each other in the very first inning of the game. Caden on the mound, Isaiah at the plate. Then with 2 men on and 2 strikes.
Oh, look out.
A pitch that got away.
I mean, he went to the ground. The stands just went silent. I mean, you couldn't hear anything at all.
I was just so afraid that he was seriously injured.
To everyone's relief, Isaiah was able to get back up and take first base. But Caden was in distress over what had happened.
He got up, which I was very happy about that, and he walked over to first base. And then I had my glove over my face because I was trying not to show people that I was crying.
When batters are hit by pitches in professional baseball, it often leads to bench-clearing brawls. But after clearing the cobwebs, instead of bitterness, Isaiah showed kindness.
Look at Zay Jarvis. This is such great sportsmanship. That's awesome.
I was like, oh, this is a good kid. These are parents doing something right, because you don't see this.
Hey, bro. Look at me. Oh, good.
What a stud right there. Zay Jarvis.
He told me he was okay, so that made me feel a lot better.
This is the best thing that I've ever seen in Little League Baseball.
I think it was just a natural reaction because I've been taught my whole life to do that.
Back in Arkansas, where Isaiah is playing fall ball, Caden came for a visit. These two foes are now friends.
I don't, want anybody to forget that this moment could not have happened without Bub's compassion and his heart for Isaiah.
Ripped, caught, Malachi Clark with another
Texas East won that regional championship to advance to the Little League World Series. But long after those scores are forgotten, this is the moment that will be remembered.
You take this moment after something like that happens, and to tell a kid, hey, it's okay, and to show that kind of compassion. I mean, the world needs the goodness, and that's the goodness.
Isaiah and Caden were both in town last night and got to share the stage with Albert Pujols at the annual Musical Awards, which shine a spotlight on kindness and sportsmanship.
120 years of faith and community was celebrated in Midtown today. Washington Tabernacle Missionary Baptist Church has stood at the corner of Compton and Washington since 1902. The church has a long legacy of community service. Civil rights leader Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. visited the church twice. They celebrated Thanksgiving a few days earlier in the Metro East today. The Caseyville United Methodist Church held a community Thanksgiving dinner. The feast is provided by the 100 MPH and Hells Angels motorcycle clubs.
All right, let's turn now to the Weather First forecast. And Scott, it looks like we're warming up for Thanksgiving week.
You know, I don't know about you guys, but after these last 9-10 days where temperatures have been so cold, and this morning starting out under 20 degrees for a lot of us. Are you ready for some warmth?
Yes, indeed.
I'm ready for normal temperatures for November.
Yeah, we just like average. Well, we're going to do a little better than average here heading into this week. And, you know, if you're heading out, by the way, this is the season. The Christmas trees are already out there at the Kirkwood Farmers Market, the Fraser Firs. 33 degrees there right now. Yes, that's below average for this time of year, and it certainly was this afternoon. But it was warmer this afternoon than yesterday, 43 for the high. And yesterday and the day before, stuck in the 30s. And that gusty wind we had Friday and Saturday. Much easier on the breeze this afternoon. Temperatures continue to drop back into the 30s. Skies are mainly clear across the region. Don't see a whole lot of cloud cover heading our way until we get into very late Wednesday afternoon into Wednesday night. Thanksgiving Day's looking a little cloudy, but not bad. 35 degrees at the moment. Just got the update from Lambert. South-southwest breeze, pretty light, but look at your dew point. That's 9 degrees. Very dry air. But with the breeze staying up, our low this morning was 20. Tomorrow morning, temperatures are going to bottom out in the mid to upper 20s. So a lot of us started out 14, 15 degrees this morning. Tomorrow will be better. We'll be back around or a little above average tomorrow afternoon. You know, at the beginning of the month, we had temperatures way above average, and then we had the cold air slide in here. This last week and a few days has been kind of rough on us with those temperatures way below average, but we're turning the page. Tomorrow, temperatures go back into the 50s. We have abundant sunshine tomorrow. We have abundant sunshine on Tuesday. We're in the upper 50s on Tuesday. Here we go into Wednesday, big travel day across, well, the entire country. But if you're driving on Wednesday, you know, we got to watch out this time of year for potentially winter weather. We don't see a whole lot of that happening. In fact, the moisture down in Texas will creep to the north, so the clouds increase. But the odds of us seeing much rainfall, pretty slim. Here we are into Wednesday evening. Maybe if you head down into Arkansas, you get a few light showers. As we head into Thursday, sure, there's a chance, but most of it's going to be to the east. By Thanksgiving night, heading up into Wisconsin, that's where you may find a little bit of wintry weather as that system slides through the Great Lakes, but nothing like what we just saw around Buffalo. That system, this next one's got a lot less punch to it. Thanksgiving Day in St. Louis, a lot of clouds expected. Maybe a spot shower or two, especially east and southeast of St. Louis. But you can't really complain about this forecast for traveling this week and coming back home for the weekend. Next Sunday, temperatures in the upper 50s. How about that? So mainly dry weather here for the next few days. Some of us could use some rain, but for travel purposes, this is a good deal.
All right, Scott, thank you. And driving to grandmother's house for Thanksgiving, the thanks you'll be giving at the gas pump. Terrifying moments at a holiday parade in North Carolina. An 11-year-old girl is dead after a pickup truck pulling a float lost control. The girl was performing with a dance group. Witnesses say the driver was honking his horn and yelling. He couldn't stop because his brakes went out.
We didn't know what the truck was doing because it just came and we didn't know if we were supposed to move or anything. It was...
The truck kind of go up the other side of the road, kind of coming towards us.
Kind of veering?
Veering towards us, you know, people screaming.
The 11-year-old driver of the truck was arrested on several charges, including reckless driving. Tonight, investigators were back at the home where 4 University of Idaho students were found murdered a week ago. Their killer has yet to be caught. Police believe the 4 were stabbed to death while they slept. 2 other roommates were also asleep during the attacks and were not harmed. Investigators have received 646 tips and have conducted 90 interviews.
Good news if you're one of the 49 million Americans planning to travel by car this week for Thanksgiving. According to AAA, the national average for gas has dropped 15 cents in the last week. Right now, drivers in St. Louis are paying about $3.12 a gallon. That's down 7 cents from a week ago. Metro East drivers are seeing a similar drop, but are still paying around $3.76 a gallon. Just in time for Black Friday, major retailers say supply chains are nearly back to normal. The pandemic caused inventory issues over the last 2 holiday seasons. This year, both Walmart and Target say they have plenty of popular products to sell at a deep holiday discount.
Dating debt, the new report showing how much you save being single.
President Biden will issue a pair of pardons tomorrow. 2 turkeys from North Carolina will receive a reprieve just in time for Thanksgiving. The official turkey presentation dates back to 1947 when Harry Truman was president. JFK issued the first Thanksgiving turkey pardon, but it didn't become an annual tradition until George H.W. Bush's presidency.
With 40-year high inflation, the single life may be the way to go. Match.com's annual Singles in America report found people who are dating are spending 40% more than they were a decade ago. That breaks down to about $130 every month.
Local soccer fans tuned in today as the 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar officially kicked off. Watch parties were held across the city, including Amsterdam Tavern in Tower Grove South. City Park is also hosting watch parties throughout the tournament. Team USA will play its first match tomorrow at 1 p.m. St. Louis time. And there you have it. 5 on your side at 10.
Start your day with Today in St. Louis beginning at 4 a.m. And now here's Frank Cusimano with Sports Plus.